You're at home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family, and we are delighted that you have welcomed us into your home. We would love to hear from you, so send us an email with a question or a comment to jimandjoy@ewtn.com. And we wish you and pray for you that you are having a blessed Holy Week as we journey all down the Via Dolorosa with our Lord. Now today we have Dr. John Sottosanti with us, and he is a world-renowned doctor of dental surgery who experienced an amazing conversion after discovering that the promises of sin and the world were empty and unfulfilling. He has written a book about his journey to the truth of the faith, and the beautiful book is called Mortal Adhesions. A surgeon battles the 7 deadly sins to find faith, happiness, and inner peace. And this great book is available at ewtnrc.com, and you could go to his website, mortaladhesions.com. Well, no pun intended, right? Because we all are crying out, and our heart truly never rests until it rests in God alone. And we could search the world looking and searching and thinking, this is going to get it and this is going to get it. But that cavity in your soul was created by God so that you would only fill it with Him. But we don't always do that.
That's right. Well, it's a wonderful book, a wonderful story, and testament to the saving grace of our Lord Jesus Christ. And it's just perfect for Holy Week. I really recommend that you get the book. EWTNRC.com has that there. Mortal Adhesions, a surgeon battles the 7 deadly sins. Do you know what those sins are? You may not know them. They may be operating in you, beginning with pride. And so he's transparent enough to say, you know, I had a lot in life and a lot of success in life. I'm a scientist, I'm an oral surgeon, I'm whatever, and I grew up within the Catholic faith, but yet I needed conversion. I needed saving. And his story is just tremendous. I think a lot of people would connect with it, and I understand that the book is reaching people from different religious backgrounds and no religion at all, because it's so transparent. They're saying, I've come up empty, I'm not a happy person, I'm resonating with what happened in your life.
Yes.
And so we will hear that story from John Sottosanti today. There's plenty more to come. We'll be right back. You're not going to want to miss this testimony. Don't go away.
Welcome back. Well, today we have Dr. John Sottosanti with us, and he is a world-renowned doctor of dental surgery who's experienced an amazing conversion after discovering that the promises of sin and this world were empty and unfulfilling. And so he wrote a book about his journey to the truth of the faith. And it's a great book called Mortal Adhesions. A surgeon battles the 7 deadly sins to find faith, happiness, and inner peace. And isn't that everything that we're all longing for? And this great book is available at ewtnrc.com. You can go out to his website, mortaladhesions.com. Well, John, we're excited to have you, and we're excited for you to tell your story, the great things that God has done to you and through you and for you. But first, we want you to tell our family about your childhood and your faith journey.
Thank you very much. I would like to really thank you for having me here for Holy Week. It's a real pleasure. I came from an Italian family. I was baptized as a young boy, but Dad was an engineer, always thinking about science, and Mom was a religious person. But if your father isn't religious, sometimes you are, and I wasn't. And what happened was Dad said, be educated, because if you're not educated, you're not going to have respect and you're not going to have money. So I got all the education that I could possibly get, doctorate degree, and then training in surgery for 3 years. And I did very well. I had a practice in La Jolla, California, overlooking the ocean. I could hear the waves hit the shore. I had movie stars and Nobel Prize winners as patients, but I really wasn't happy. In fact, I got very depressed, so depressed that I couldn't sleep at night. It was really despair. And I was promised the American dream would make me happy, and it didn't make me happy. Finally, out of pure hopelessness, I cried out to God for the first time in my life. And I said, Lord, if you're up there, because I wasn't sure that there was a God, because the scientists don't really think there is a God, a lot of them. And so I said, Lord, if you're up there, all I want is inner peace. Please help me. It's a real crying out. People don't think God listens, but God listens. And the very next day, I was upset because I had a meeting coming up with my partner, business partner, who he and I were somewhat antagonistic at the time. And I walked into a bookstore thinking that I was going to buy a novel on tape because I had a 3-hour drive to a business meeting with him. And instead, this book pops up called Love is Letting Go of Fear that told me that I was full of love and that if people are angry, they're full of fear. So I bought the book, read it, and gave it to my partner to read, and we had the best business meeting you would ever want to see. 2 weeks later, he gives me a book as a present, which he'd never had before, and I opened the book and it said, "The publisher is the foundation for inner peace." The exact words that I used, which was so unusual. And then a series of events started happening in which God was involved, but I didn't have an immediate conversion because I was so steeped in me being my own God. But I had a lovely wife. She got me to Bible study, and then a friend got me to a Cursillo weekend, which is a 3-day Catholic retreat in which we get close to Jesus. And that started it so that I became open for what happened next.
Yes.
And what happened next was my son called me and said, "Dad, we have some bad news." Now, his wife, Martha, had had 2 miscarriages, and they were the only hope for grandchildren for me at the time, and still today, it's true. So I felt so badly when he told me that they could never have children. The 2 miscarriages, and the doctor determined that, well, they might have children, but we certainly do not think so. So I was very sad. Second thing that happened is one of my friends from the Cursillo weekend came down with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a terrible blood cancer. And he wasn't expected to live. And I felt very badly about it. When you go to Cursillo, you meet with some of the Cursillo buddies every week for a long time. And so I've been meeting with Mike for a couple of years. That was the second thing that happened. Third thing that happened, I called one of the other Cursillo guys who lived far away, and I didn't see him. And I said, "John, can we have lunch coming up? It's been a long time." He said, "I can have lunch any day." He said, "My wife, Judy, is going to Spain for 2 weeks." 2 weeks. He said, 6 weeks. I said, 6 weeks in Spain? What's she going to do? Take a course in English? I mean, Spanish?
Yeah.
And he said, no, she's going on the Camino de Santiago. I had no idea what that was. I found out it's a 500-mile trek from France all the way to Santiago de Compostela, where the bones of St. James reside. So,
And they made a great movie of it called The Way of St.
They
James,
sure
right?
did.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
EWTN aired that.
Well,
So you went, and then what happened to you?
On the Camino, I found out from learning from John Bowen that there were many interesting spots on the Camino. One in particular was known for helping pregnant or infertile women become pregnant. And evidently,
one of the stops along the way.
Yeah, I stopped along the way. It was 1/3 of the way across. Queen Isabella in 1477 had heard about a saint who lived in the 1200s that lived along the way. And when they opened his casket, possibly for sainthood, they found honeybees come out of the casket, and the smell of roses came out of the casket. And he soon became known as a saint for infertile women. So women would come from all over Europe to pray to the saint that they could have children.
What's his name?
Juan de Ortega.
One day Ortega. Okay.
So you can go to the little hamlet of Juan de Ortega. They have a population of 15.
Okay.
So we have, we came into that town. That morning I had had a bicycle accident where I was almost killed by a Mack truck. So my leg was bleeding. But I walked or came in the road. We rode bicycles because we could ride bicycles and still get the diploma that they give called the Compostela if you either ride a bicycle for 2 weeks or walk for 4 to 6 weeks. So we come into the town and we have lunch. And now my friend who had cancer was with us.
Okay.
And he was seated across from me when we ordered our bocadillos. And Mike disappeared. And he comes back and says, "John, drop your sandwich." I said, "Why?" He said, "I have cancer." He said, "I came days early to go to Lourdes, France, which is only 60 miles away from the start of the Camino." And he said, "It is really holy there. I bathed in the baths, and I felt the holiness of Lourdes, but it's nothing like the tomb of San Juan de Ortega." So I dropped my sandwich, go down to the church, go down these steps into this dark, moist, moldy tomb. So dark, there's these votive candles, and light starts coming to my eyes as they adjust. And down below, I see a casket, and above the casket on the far wall is a large wooden cross. So I said, well, might as well pray. That's why I came on the Camino. So I only knew 3 prayers from catechism or from Baltimore Catechism, yes, as a child. And so I said the Our Father, the Hail Mary, and the Act of Contrition. And I started saying it over and over again. And then all of a sudden, something happened that I could not believe. I'm a scientist. I've got like 30 papers in the scientific literature. And you have to prove to me, by scientific method if something is real or not. And I see a blazing cross superimposed on the dark cross. But it didn't stay there. It immediately divided. It stayed, but divided so that there were now 3 crosses. Then the 2 on the side divide, and now we're looking at 5 blazing crosses. These are about this tall, where the big cross was 6 feet tall. And then the ones on the side divide again, and we have 7 blazing crosses going across the front of the room. No smell, no heat. Now, I can't believe this is there. And there's no alcohol, there's no sunstroke or anything. Because, I have to figure out how this is happening.
You said you were thinking maybe someone was projecting something.
Well, I said immediately, I've been to Disneyland in Southern California. I said, these Spaniards are so amazing.
Technology, something's happening.
They borrowed Disney's technology, and what they have here is video projection of crosses across the front of the room. So I just decided I'm going to look at the back wall and see where they're projecting this from. So I turn around, and it's a solid wall. Now, this is 20 years ago when we didn't have digital screens. You basically had to have Kodachrome slides and a projector or a movie projector projecting it. And I said, well, my glasses must be projecting light from the crosses, and I'm somehow light from the candles, and I'm seeing crosses. And so I go to take off my reading glasses, and they were in the back pocket of my cycling jersey. Now it was like, what could it possibly be? And I gave up. I said, God is present. The Holy Spirit is present. My wife and my mother, who are good Catholics, should be gifted with a vision of some kind. And me, a sinner, God selected me. I still cannot believe it. But I immediately knew that my daughter-in-law was going to get pregnant and have a baby. There was no doubt in my mind. Of course, you can't tell too many people because they laugh.
But this is the same, let's go back in your story. This is the same saint tomb where Queen Isabella, who financed Columbus coming to America, went because she was praying for another child.
She needed a son.
She needed a son.
To be king.
Okay.
And she had a daughter, but 7 years had passed, and she had no children. But she had a son right 9 months after praying, and she named the son Juan. You can look that up. He unfortunately, he became king eventually, but only lived to age 29. But a year after giving birth to a son, because she had tried to have a son to be heir for 7 years.
Okay.
But not only did she not get pregnant for 5 years, but then she got pregnant and miscarried. So she was almost giving up hope. So she went to the saint for hope.
And she got
worked.
hope, and she got, not only did she get pregnant, but she got pregnant with a male
Absolutely.
child, right?
Right,
Because
which-
that was the desire of
Yeah.
her heart.
So here you are there a few years after that.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, a few years after. 1477 was.
But
when she
your
was
heart's
there.
cry was, you wanted a grandchild. You wanted that for your son, for your daughter-in-law. And here you are, and now you're having these other crosses that are appearing, kind of like cell multiplication.
Oh, very much so. It's almost like a sperm meets an egg and they divide, except the mother egg disappears as the two eggs branch off. And it was just absolutely amazing that this could happen. I really.
How beautiful. And then, so you had that experience, there you are, and now you believe, right? You said your mother, who had been a faithful prayer warrior for you for many years.
She prayed to St. Jude. Hopeless. I was a hopeless case.
Right. And but you,
can relate to that.
you delivered, right?
Well, God delivered.
Right. But through those prayers of your mother and then your beloved wife.
Oh, absolutely.
None of us get where we are without people in our past praying for us.
Yes.
And God pity the world right now where we are in this state of life. If nuns and monks weren't praying just for the state of the world, that we don't go off the planet, right? I mean, we're so grateful for that power of prayer. And then you present your heart's desire at this beautiful site. And then what happened to your daughter-in-law?
Well, 9 months later, when I got home, it was about a week or two after being in the tomb, she becomes pregnant. But because she had miscarried, she didn't tell anybody except her parents. And pregnancy went right through the full 9 months. She gave birth to Tommy. Tommy is graduating from Yale University in May.
Thank
And
God.
Mike, the man with the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, has been totally cured, because recurrence of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is quite common.
Right.
And he became a deacon in the Catholic Church. So I got a grandbaby, and Mike was cured and became a deacon and is very faithful in the church. So it was a wonderful trip. I told the Lord that I would never cheat on the Camino, because we had a van supporting us, and the owner of the company kept saying, "Would you like a ride?
Yeah.
Would you like, that's a steep hill. Why don't you?" And I said, "Lord, I will ride this whole Camino on my bicycle. I don't care how much pain." I practically got killed
I
by
know
the
you said that,
Mack
yeah.
truck. And I said, "I'll do it all for you. I'm here. This is serious business." And it was. And I prayed that in every church that I went into. And on the Camino, you probably go through 200 churches if you want to.
I didn't realize
Not
that.
everybody stops.
So we just have a couple of minutes till our break, and we're going to carry you over. So what happened in terms of like more definitive changes in you as this went on? Or did you just figure, because you really weren't that spiritual of a person.
Right.
You weren't, this didn't happen because you were so deserving.
Right.
And so maybe it's just kind of like, well, I pray and I visit, and I guess I get miracles. That's my faith now. What started to work in you? What was implanted
Well, I
in you?
became much more open to going back to the Catholic faith, because I had totally left it. I even explored Buddhism. I was into transcendental meditation, sitting cross-legged with palms up.
And oming out.
Yeah, I mean, I tried it. New Age. I mean, I tried it all. But the fact that the Camino was, on the route and fully supported by the Catholic Church. And also, I became a student of the Shroud of Turin.
Okay.
And I flew at the same time, right around that time. I flew to Turin just to see the shroud, because they had it exposed for the year 2000, and I was able to sit in front of the shroud. Most people can only walk by, but the Lord opened up a seat for me. An old man got up. The church was crowded. He got up, and I got one of the best seats in the house for 30 minutes right in front of the shroud.
We're going to
You got a break.
take a break at this point. Speaking with John Sottosanti, Mortal Adhesions, a surgeon battles the 7 deadly sins to find faith, happiness, and inner peace. It's a tremendous read for Catholics, Protestants, non-Catholics, different religions, no faith at all, of finding that they're getting on a trail towards faith because of this book. We'll be right back. Plenty more to come. Don't go away. We're continuing our wonderful conversation with John Sottosanti. It's perfect for this Holy Week. It's a little bit like St. Paul, like, you know, what you were saying. I was so undeserving of this. My wife should have had this happen, kind of what you saw in that tomb of this particular saint along that road of St. James. And so you came to this radical conversion. We were asking you at the end of the time, well, what happened in your life after that? What kind of growth? I know it's a long story, but where do you want to go with that?
Well, the last time that I had been to confession was when my mother made me go to confession at age 18. Once I went off to the Ivy League institution that I went to, nobody went to church there or went to confession, and so I didn't either. So I'm starting to feel quite guilty, which is too bad, but I did. And actually, it's very good, because after 40 years, something else happened. September 11th, right?
Right.
And September 11th happened. I saw those people falling out of the building and all that death. Also, I had several other experiences, like almost was in a fatal plane crash, that made me start thinking about death. And I thought, oh my gosh, death can happen at any time. So I go to confession. What a relief that was.
Did the priest say anything when you said it's been 40 years?
He said, what? What did you say? He said, 40 years? I said, no, 41. And so that started getting me back in the church. But I was so filled with ego that after learning how to bicycle long distances, I went out and bought a road racing bike. And I started climbing mountains and doing unbelievable rides. I mean, one ride was 129 miles in one day and climbed 16,000 vertical feet, a Tour de France type ride. Now, I was getting up there in years. I mean, I was 60 years old, and I'm riding with the 30-year-olds, and I was just full of myself doing that. And then I get prostate cancer. Now I turn to the Lord for a second time.
Now that's humbling.
Very humbling. I went to church every day, and I went to Eucharistic adoration, and I started just getting a feel that, first of all, I prayed to Padre Pio, and I got a feel to go to Lourdes, France, and it was the most amazing thing. I had certainly a spiritual healing. I went there nervous. I came back full of peace, and I was able to evangelize the faith to others because of that peace. But also, that was 20 years ago, and I did have some treatment, but breezed through treatment. I had an aggressive prostate cancer. It was outside of the gland.
Yeah.
I've been healed for 20 years with no problems whatsoever, no problems with treatment and no problems. And to have the Catholic faith to turn to is such a blessing. I mean, when you have a baby, turn to it for baptism, and then for communion and confirmation. And then when you want to get married, have it in a Catholic church. And if you have a sick mom, as I did, and mom was going to die, to bring that sacrament in. And I mean, what a wonderful thing to use the church for all these great things in that we go through.
Well, John, thank God we have tomorrow, because I know there's a lot more to come in your life and in your journey. We haven't really touched on true happiness. That was an issue that you raised early on. So we look forward to that. Hope you've enjoyed this witness today. Mortal Adhesions. A surgeon battles the 7 deadly sins to find faith, happiness, inner peace. EWTNRC.com. It's not that we love God, but that He loves us and sent His Son to be the sacrifice for our sins, for my sins. This is Holy Week, the week that changed the world and changed John's life. Keep it on EWTN. You're an important part of this family. You're never alone. You're always at home with Jim and Joy. Bye now.